video is level 3 for hip mobility and strength needs. For this level, what we're going to do is lie with our back on the same towel roll, but this time instead of using our arm or the towel in the hip hinge, we're just going to bring the knee forward to our shoulder and then finally opposite to the opposite shoulder. And what we want to test out is, does it feel the same as this hip when we go forward and opposite as it feels on this side when we go forward and opposite shoulder? If it doesn't, we need to back up and do level 1 and 2 and do more vigorous mobilization, which is putting the arm in there and pulling it over. You can really keep the distraction and give a good pull to that knee where it's going over. You're not going to hurt the hip. So do that stronger with more force if this doesn't feel pain-free at this point. But the goal is to get equal feelings of flexion on both sides and opposite hip quadrant on both sides. So that's the mobility part, doing the hip mobilizations without traction for level 3. And then for the quadrant position, what we're going to do this time, we went over how to find that neutral arch and keep that arch in our back. And what we're going to do now is do a glute set, so squeezing our glute max together. And then we're going to try to keep that as we keep the arch and rock all the way back onto, maybe not the heels, but we're going to use up all of our hip flexion. So as soon as we feel our back reverse, then we're going to stop. So for me, if I squeeze my glutes and hold it as I'm coming back, that point happens about right there. If I go any further, I'm going to start losing that curve. So I'm going to squeeze the glutes and come back, go to the point where I can keep my back arched and come back up again and do that for 10 times. Squeezing the glutes the whole time, coming back up. Squeezing the glutes, coming back up. So I'm going to do that for 10 reps. After that, I'm going to work on sit to stand. And that's going to look like, with the chair, I'm going to work on keeping that arch in my back. So that's kind of, this is a slump position, but I want to roll my pelvis forward and keep that neutral arch in my back. So what I'm going to do is keep that arch, roll my pelvis forward, and then I'm going to transfer the weight to my feet and stand up. And I'm going to come down almost like I'm sitting, but just touch and come back up. Touch and come back up. So we're going to do this, and it's helpful to do it in front of a phone or a mirror in case you're not weight bearing as much through one side. So you want your chin to kind of line up directly between your knees, touch, and come back up. So you can do that for 10 repetitions, and that concludes level 3.